Hello, my name is Liz Masterson, and I am going for my master's degree in new media and journalism. I've been a high school teacher for 20 years, teaching both journalism and English. The landscape in the world of journalism has changed drastically in the last 20 years. I desire to become an expert in the field of journalism now so that I can be a more effective teacher for today's learners. Getting my master's in journalism is also opening the door to other opportunities, like possibly teaching journalism in college. In high school, I always knew that I myself wanted to be a high school teacher, but back then I thought I would like teaching social studies. When I got to college, I had an advisor discourage me from being a social studies teacher. He told me the field was heavily saturated and I would have a hard time finding a job. So I turned my attention to something new for me, journalism. Journalism is something I fell in love with while in college, but I was never able to shake my desire to teach. Interestingly, I got an epiphany while sitting in an elective class about religion that I wanted to be a teacher. But this time I knew I wanted to teach journalism. I stayed in school for a couple more years, earned a bachelor's degree in both journalism and secondary education, and started my teaching career. So here's my reflection on each of the 5 strategies for finding your life's task by Robert Greene in his book Mastery. Return to your origins, the primal inclination. Masters like Albert Einstein and Marie Curie were inspired early in their lives with what they would come to master. Both scientists were young children when they discovered their passion. I wasn't a young child, but I was a kid in high school when I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. Then in college, I fell in love with journalism and eventually combined the two. I feel like this quote from the reading summarizes this nicely. In order to master a field, you must love the subject and feel a profound connection to it. Your interest must transcend the field itself and border on the religious. Number 2, occupy the perfect niche, the Darwinian strategy. This strategy was illustrated by 2 very different examples of how a master can find their niche. In the case of Yoki Matsuoka, she was able to build upon and combine her passions. It was almost like a domino effect where one discovery led to another and then to another until she found the perfect niche for herself. I feel like my path has been somewhat domino-like also. Each passion has led me to the more specific niche of teaching journalism. Number 3, avoid the false path, the rebellion strategy. In this section, I like the following quote. A false path in life is generally something we are attracted to for the wrong reasons: money, fame, attention, and so on. Simply put, don't pursue your mastery for the wrong reasons. It needs to be a real passion that drives you. Number 4, let go of the past, the adaptation strategy. The story of Freddie Roach illustrates that if you let go of the failures of your past, you may be led to your real destiny or passion. In Roach's case, his boxing career never came into full fruition, but after he ended his career and got past the bitterness of not making it as a boxer, he was able to go back to the gym where he discovered his real calling as a coach and mentor. He was able to apply all of his knowledge gained as a boxer to make others better. At the end of this section, I found another nugget of knowledge that stuck with me. Remember, your life's task is a living, breathing organism. The moment you rigidly follow a plan set in your youth, you lock yourself into a position and the times will ruthlessly pass you by. Don't let the perceived path to mastery in your youth and bitterness of your failure in your youth stop you from finding your life's task. And don't waste a lot of time wallowing in past failures. And then number 5, find your way back, the life or death strategy. The path to mastery doesn't happen overnight. It takes years of personal sacrifice, overcoming challenges and disappointments, much like what was illustrated in the story of Buckminster Fuller. We may even feel like we're at the end of our rope, but if we persevere and listen to our inner voice, we will get where we want to be. For my story, the strategy that resonates most is number 2, occupy the perfect niche. The epiphany that I had in religion class was a turning point. I returned to my original path and I felt passionate about, which was teaching. What's more, I was able to build on that and add the domino of journalism into the mix. Strategy number 2 fits me because I was able to combine 2 of my passions in journalism and teaching. And along the way, I've added other dominoes like photography and even graphic design for publications. Getting my master's in journalism only broadens my horizon. It will give me the knowledge that I crave, and the opportunity to teach at the college level if I so choose. For SMART goals, I have 2. In the next 3 weeks, I will reach out to 2 of the local news agencies in my area and network with them on ways that I can make journalism more relevant to my students. and maybe even discuss mentorship programs. And number two, I will update my LinkedIn profile so that I can meet more people in the industry. Having other experts to reach out to will be invaluable.